The Kimpact Development Initiative has called on INEC, security agencies, political actors, and civil society to take urgent action to prevent violence ahead of Anambra State's November 8th governorship election. Presenting its pre-election security risk assessment in Abuja, KDI highlighted 5 key priorities: boosting INEC's preparedness and public confidence, curbing unhealthy political campaigns, addressing security gaps, countering misinformation, and strengthening community peace building. Now, KDI warned that without prompt measures, the election could be plagued by insecurity, disinformation, and low voter turnout. Well, Anambra has a history of electoral violence, with hundreds killed between 2011 and 2014, and voter participation falling to just over 10% in 2021. Now, the report flagged 3 main triggers for political unrest: politicized community and town unions, youth restiveness linked to unemployment, and the exploitation of religious and identity divisions. Disinformation, especially through AI-generated deepfakes, manipulated videos, and cloned voices, was also highlighted as a major risk that could confuse voters or spark violence. Well, the candidate for the new Nigeria People's Party in the Anambra State governorship election, Colonel Professor Geoffrey Onyejegbu, joins us now from our Abuja studio for a chat about the preparedness of all stakeholders ahead of the poll, which is exactly 54 days away. Thank you for joining us on the show, Professor. Of course, this is such a pivotal time for Anambrarians around the world because they are about to witness another election season, one that will definitely set sail for what the future of Anambra sets to be. But like I've just mentioned, there's so many other factors, aside from what I imagine is a very robust manifesto you may have, that could impede on the success of these elections. Based on your assessment and preparedness over the last couple of months, how ready would you say Anambra is for these elections on the side of the people and on the side of INEC?
Well, good afternoon, Nigerians. Good afternoon, dear Anambra. I think that elections in Anambra is one of places where elections are really done and regains are not allowed. Election in Anambra by all stakeholders normally comes out in a very nice and wonderful way. I don't know of any violence of note in elections in Anambra. I've been involved in elections in Anambra since the year 2010, when I ran for the first governorship race. And then 2012, I directed Dr. Chikobi Debo's quest through APGA. In 2017, I did also direct Dr. Chikobi Debo's quest in APC. By 2019, I was a candidate myself, aspirant for the office of the Anambra South Senatorial Zone as a ticket on APC. 2021, I was an aspirant, 14 of us for that matter, in APC. And 2023, aspirant of governorship in 2021. And then 2023, I was the candidate of New Nigerian People's Party for the position of Anambra South Senatorial seat. And I think I have quite very well knowledge of how election operates in Anambra. And I can tell you so far, all the stakeholders have been doing things they are supposed to do, especially INEC. They've been sending out teams, monitoring elections, campaign. And then as for those of us as aspirants, I think we've been doing what we are required of.
Okay.
I think we're all getting ready for November 8th.
Thank you very much for that. So in your assessments, would you say that across the three senatorial zones, that's Anambra North, Central, Anambra Central, Anambra South, would you say that every single local government in these three senatorial zones has been properly sensitized on who you are, to start with? And I want us to just limit the conversation to your aspiration, on who you are and what you are representing for each and every one of them. I'm breaking it down into local government areas so we can, streamline it. Are you saying that based off of your understanding of elections, every single local government area is properly sensitized, you have been there, you understand the needs of every single person that would position you as possibly what they need as a governor?
Well, I think even our mobilization, until INEC publishes the list of the polling units agents, if our party might be taking a first position, we are expected to field 5,720 polling unit agents. And as at today, NNPP is the first party to have done so. For the 21 local governments, we are not even talking about the 21. We are talking about 326 wards. And I have broken it down now to the polling unit agents, and we are interfacing with each and every one of them in 5,720 polling units. So we are gone down below the 21 local governments. So we've done all that we expected to do at this time.
Now, when you look at the people of Anambra, what would you say the greatest challenges are for the people in terms of where they are right now and where you feel that they intend to be? And as governor, what do you intend to do differently to bring some of these issues to an end?
It is with a lot of embarrassment I'm going to say this. The insecurity in the state is what is uppermost to every Anambralian. And I am saying that the administration of Professor Chukwuma Soludo failed totally. It was a shameful embarrassment that insecurity is scored below 30%. Well, again, if you want to blame him, you make an excuse for him. The man cannot give what he does not have. The lawyers, in simple Latin language, say, "Nemo dat who non habe." You can't give what you don't have. And for me, that has been the only key, unique skill set I only lay monopoly claim on. None of the rest 14 in the field have knowledge of security. Me, from my training and background and what I've been or where I have been in life, commanded a brigade in Mokalai, but I was acting GOC in 2 divisions, Odubo Cantonment, and finally the military attaché of this country in Washington, D.C. So you could say from local to national to international, you have a security guru, okay, seeking for the office of the governor of Anambra State. So insecurity is what is uppermost in the minds of the Anambra. And if you don't have it, I don't think you will really be helping the Anambra in any way, because it's only when a place is secured that commerce can thrive.
I completely agree.
A place is secured.
Yes, I completely agree with you. It's only a time when a place is secured that commerce can thrive. But while you speak, remember that when you ran in 2021, you were asked a very similar question, just to establish that, the insecurity in Anambra has been there prior to now, even before Soludo got into the position as governor. And one of the things you greatly spoke about was how you're going to use kinetic and non-kinetic measures to tackle insecurity, meaning that Insecurity is a long-standing problem in Anambra. You're saying that the current governor has not been able to tackle it in his 4 years. Now, what exactly would you be able to do, which you had said you would do if you had gotten in with APC in 2021? What will you do now? And let's not do the whole kinetic, non-kinetic. Let's break it down to specifics so it's easy for everybody to understand, because insecurity is a major challenge.
You see, the truth of the matter is that Anambra lost a single opportunity of not having me as a governor in 2021. Now, to answer your question directly, what I will do new are two prongs. First, when you put boots on the ground, I am going to, in the first 6 months, 1 year of being the governor, move into those forests of Osumohu, Lilu, Mbosi, Owerezukala. The government house, my government house will be moved there with my commissioners, with my SAs. All my visitors are to see me in that forest. If you can't see me, you have to stay away from the state. I will want to go and dominate those forests. And you see, I keep saying, it is easy for me to do it because this is my stock in trade. This is what I am trained for. And where I come from, they said it takes the shrine keeper to feed the shrine. So therefore, for me, I am the only one that can speak the language. The military people, the police and DSS will understand.
So, sir,
and
if you're
we move into the forest, I am telling you.
Yes. If you're saying that you're the only...
If we move into those forests, I can tell you that we'll route...
Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. Finish your... I think you
No.
something.
Yes, I do,
right.
Because you did have your time. You said you ran under the senatorial seat for the Anambra South senatorial seat under NNPP. So you started this interview by saying that you've had an extensive period of time expressing yourself, from the APC to, crossing the lines into the senatorial space and then campaigning for governorship and then back to senatorial under NNPP. And now you're campaigning again for governor. So you've been around. So in your own capacity as a political statesman, what have you done in terms of perhaps advice, contributions, CSRs, because I know you're also a businessman. What have you done to secure, even if it's maybe just your local government area, perhaps?
Yeah, well, you can only do much when you are given the space to give advice. You can only do much when you are hired and you are in the position. So if you ask me, what have I done? I will answer you, I have not been given the space to advise. I have not been elected to those positions to say, oh, you were there, but you failed to do what you promised to do.
Now, that's a very good one, because it's easy to say that when you get in there, you're going to do something different. But now there is the bigger challenge of APGA's dominance in Anambra State. There are other parties contesting in this election, the APC, the Labour Party as well. A lot of people would say, based on the by-election results, that they might even have a better chance than NNPP. How do you plan to navigate that very, very major issue, considering that for Anambra State for the longest time, it's been more about zoning than capacity or competence?
Well, the truth of the matter is that as we move forward, I can tell you the awareness is now getting down to just monetizing the election. People are now asking questions. Oh, this candidate has these skills, unique skill sets. Why don't we hire him? As against, the pecuniary toro kobo. They give people to vote for on the election day. We will do what we need to do. We will keep sending the message. what you are given to vote for Party A or candidate B will only last you for just a meal. But we are talking of a period of 4 years. You will stay in hunger less than a day. In fact, it might not even last you that day. So I am in line. I agree with you totally that even from the by-election, the result favored APGA. But I can tell you that is by-election. The governorship election is always a different ball game.
It most definitely is. Now, going back to unemployment, we've seen other states come up with several creative ways, irrespective of the present security challenges, to empower their people. What are some of the ways that you intend to empower in the Anambra as governor, initiatives that will drive money to their pockets?
You see, the insecurity in the state calls for a kind of empowerment that will backdress the insecurity. For me, I am coming with what I call agri-camp boots in at least all the geopolitical zones. That way, I will employ every Anambra, maybe youth, whether you are a youth or you are an adult, but we identify that you are not employed, and then send them to these agri-camps as it were done in the 60s, when we had all the other palms as a corporate firm for the government of Eastern region. They will be earning some good remuneration that will keep them away from being idle, because they say the idle man is a devil's workshop. Professor Soludo tried what he called one youth, two skills. But it's a big failure, because we haven't seen it, given that it did not touch the insecurity such could have touched. And I think a deviation from that is that you have the youths employed in where the back integrated products of their employment. We want to take them off the streets. We two, put enough money in their pockets, and three, will address insecurity. This is my idea.
What about education?
That's what I want to do.
What about education? What about the fact that education remains a major challenge?
Education, if you know my party, New Nigerian People's Party, is the only party in this country that have education policy that, let me start from tertiary institution. If you made a 2-1 or a 2-2, we sponsor you to your PhD program, master's and PhD program. We are the only state today to see what is happening in Kano, by Abba, Gida. All our scholars, majority of them are sent to India, some of them to Uganda. There is no youth that finishes, and it's not only to Kano indigenes, it is to Kano residents. I have a young lady from Anambra area in Anambra who lost his father in Kano. She benefited from such program. So of course, the primary and secondary will be largely free, tuition paying. Then those with first class must be trained to PhD level.
So are you saying...
masters on the state.
Yeah, are you saying that, considering that NNPP is in Kano, this is currently happening in Kano at this time and would just be a replicated incident where there are people...
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Oh, sure. You can verify. I have a friend that will always tell you can verify. So please verify. Just ask about the scholars program. We call it the scholars.
So like how many people would you say have benefited in your assessment? I mean, you could give me a rough number from the Scholars Program within Kano State at this time.
Please, it runs into multiples of thousands. In fact, as a matter of fact, the day we were receiving a batch of graduates that were coming from abroad, I ran into His Excellency Peter Obi at Kano Airport. We invited him. The governor was there, our national leader, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was there. We invited him to come and say a word or two to those coming from abroad. It's only an NNPP, and that is what we want to replicate all over the country. So if we get, Kano is working already on it, Anambra will now key in when I become the governor. And then by special grace of God, when Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso makes it to the national presidency of this country, the whole country will benefit the same.
You know, it's interesting that you'd promote this so passionately, considering that just 4 years ago, you know, you had spoken so beautifully about APC and what they stand for Nigeria. So it's interesting to see how much your sentiments have changed over this period of time.
Please, did you say APC or you meant New Nigerian People's Party?
No, I meant APC. You did run for governor.
Repeat, please. Repeat.
Yes, I said it's interesting to see how much your
I did.
Exactly. I now said that I also recall at the time where there were conversations around APC's possibilities within the Nigerian perspective and what they could do. You were a very staunch defender of the fact that there's a lot going on that you will accredit to, you know, positive things within APC. So it's interesting to see how much your stance has changed over this period of time as you are now with NNPP.
Well, you see, the APC story was what I would say that they missed great opportunity. Very, very a great opportunity missed by them because the then sitting Vice President, Sibajo, who listened to our Manifesto night, was wowed. He was, when I finished speaking, I think I was the second to the last person. The last person didn't get opportunity to speak because the man felt that what I heard and what ideas I had at the time, and who I said I am, that all those things does not have a shelf life in Walmart or ShopRite. And in fact, he told the leader of the Southeast then, former Senate President, Ken Naman, that he will personally hold him responsible if I do not emerge as the candidate of the party. But what happened was that primary never held. That primary never held till today.
Okay.
So if you're asking between APC and NNPP, I experience you get from one party in doing a new manifesto for the NNPP, which tries to capture things that will be for the betterment of the society. I've just told you something about the education. I've just told you about something about agriculture.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Yes.
Well,
and in fact, in my own, see, I have this rare 4 unique skill sets I keep marketing. The first one is security. Okay. The second one is commerce. The third one is edupreneur. The fourth one, being an architect, is architecture and infrastructure.
All right, thank you so much. I feel like you've spoken extensively around your manifesto and your plans, and you know it will be quite interesting to see how this all plays out come November 8th during the elections. But Colonel Professor Geoffrey Onyejegbu, thank you so much for your time on Newsday today, the Anambra Governorship candidate for NNPP.